The first trailer for Denis Villeneuve's Dune Part 2 was released the other week, and after making multiple breakdowns on certain things we saw in the trailer, I've been getting a reoccurring question from fans of the material. And that question is, will we see the Emperor or Alia Atreides in any of the upcoming marketing? I've had this question a lot over the last few months, and I do have some thoughts surrounding whether we will see them and what particular footage we could get if we do. In this video, I'm going to be discussing just that and talking a bit more about their characters in the film. There will be spoilers from the book in this breakdown, so if you haven't read Frank Herbert's novel yet, or you don't want to know some of the details from the back part of the story, then I'd recommend watching this at a later time. Before I get into it though, if you want to keep up to date on any of my content surrounding Dune Part 2 and beyond, then don't forget to support this upload by giving it a like rating, subscribing to the channel, and turning on your notifications. But without further ado, let's dive into whether we'll get any footage of the Emperor or Alia in the marketing for Dune Part 2. So the two bigger characters that we are yet to see any footage of, posters or marketing for Dune Part 2 is of course the Emperor and Paul's sister, Alia Atreides. There's suspicion surrounding whether we will see anything of these characters because at a similar point in the marketing for Dune Part 1, we had pretty good looks at every character in the teaser and even character posters for almost every big figure involved. We've seen some of the other new characters a part of Part 2 already, whether that be Austin Butler's Fade Rotha, the secretive Margot Fenring, played by Leia Seydoux, or the Emperor's daughter, Princess Irulan, played by Florence Pugh. So what does that mean for the rest of the marketing when it comes to both the Emperor and Alia Atreides? Well, starting with Christopher Walken's Emperor, I do believe that we will see this character pop up in future trailers or footage. We've already had the big casting of Christopher Walken, and we've already seen quite a bit of his daughter in the first trailer that was released the other week. Of course, Shaddam Carino IV is highly important in the early events that kicked off this story of revenge and fury on the planet of Arrakis. The Emperor's fall from power ultimately takes place by his own hand after feeling intimidated by his adoptive cousin in Duke Leto Atreides. Leto had become the charismatic leader in the Landsraad that those looked up to, and he built an army that was strong enough to compete with the fearless Sardaukar, who attacked and murdered a lot of the Atreides in Part 1. We do learn in the books, however, that the Emperor did also admire Leto at one point and saw him as a potential choice of succession that his daughter could have married because he had no male heirs. That soon changed, and it led to the slaughter of the Atreides with the combined threat of the Sardaukar and Harkonnen forces, and the Emperor believed that his cousin's house had all but ended after that initial attack. We see a lot of this contemplated by Princess Irulan in the first official trailer when she says, "What if Paul Atreides is still alive?" And I wouldn't be too surprised if these scenes are taking place on planet Kytane, which is the Emperor's home. We've seen behind the scenes looks at the lavish palace that appears to be where these Irulan scenes are taking place, and I think it's only a matter of time before we see the conversations or a moment between her and her father. But yeah, with the Emperor being already played by such a well-known actor and the early trailers giving us a bit more footage from planet Kytane, I do think that the next trailer or piece of marketing will show us a new look at Christopher Walken's character. With the first Dune, they made a big impression on viewers with looks at all the extended talent on display across the marketing, and I think it would be a missed opportunity to not show at least 1 or 2 frames of the Emperor before the release of the film this November. Maybe we'll also get a poster in the style of those Part 1 character posters to once again highlight just how much talent is in the film. When it comes to what we could see of him, like I was suggesting before, I think they'll focus on the early moments between both him and his daughter, back on their home planet, and maybe we'll get a further look at his costume, which I'm guessing will fit in line with the regal and expensive looking designs that Florence Pugh's character was seen wearing in that first footage. Denis Villeneuve has made it clear that he's keeping each house and characters within a faction similar to the looks of other characters within the same house, whether that be the pale and bold appearance of the many Harkonnens, or what we'd again imagine is the more regal appearance with the Emperor and his daughter. I'm really excited to see what Walken's Emperor is going to look like, and I definitely think that his appearance is going to be driven by the richness and importance of his position and reflect that continuity that we've seen with the other houses so far. So now that we've talked about the Emperor, what could I see being done about Alia Atreides? This is probably where more of the question lies surrounding a character maybe not being shown in any early marketing. Now, in part 1, we did see a glimpse of Alia soon after she was born in one of Paul's many visions, and the character is of course super important to what happens both at the end of the first book and even more so later on. Alia Atreides is the younger sister of Paul, and after him and his mother Lady Jessica join with the Fremen, the tribe wants Jessica to become their new Reverend Mother and in turn have the full potential of the Bene Gesserit's abilities. During one of the most famous sequences from the book, which is that Water of Life moment, Jessica goes through a spice ritual and she is given the ancestral memories of the Reverend Mothers that came before. But while Jessica has this experience, so does her unborn child Alia, who becomes conscious of everything even though she hasn't been born yet. Once born, we soon learn that Alia can speak and even act like an adult inside of a child's body, and of course a lot of those around her, whether it's the Fremen or the Bene Gesserit, feel very strange towards the situation. We learn that Alia is a major element when it comes to Paul's revenge against the Harkonnens, outsmarting people way older and wielding a crysknife against those we wouldn't expect. She becomes known as Saint Alia of the Knife, and trying to imagine how a lot of this is going to look on screen is going to be a hell of a task for the director. I have done a whole video talking about adapting this character, and while I think Denis can do it, for me it's definitely going to be one of the most difficult new characters to visualize and fit into this more grounded take on the material. When it comes to seeing footage of her in the marketing as a reverse to the Emperor, I don't think that they are going to show too much of this character in the months prior to the film. We haven't had a casting yet, and there's all this element of mystery that the first film sets up surrounding her character. Of course, us who have read the book know what happens, but for those new to Dune, I think they might want to keep this as a big surprise for that second film. Saying that, we might get a brief shot from behind the character wielding a crysknife or something along the lines of that, in the sense of a very small tease, but I think regarding the weirder aspects of how she speaks, her visual appearance, and who plays her, makes it seem to me that they could leave that for the film itself. To me, this is one aspect of part 2 that even book readers have no idea towards, surrounding the adaptation that Denis is going to bring with the character. So keeping that as a surprise and something that can be highly effective in the film if it is done really well seems like an appropriate way to go. For all we know though, this could be completely wrong, and in the next trailer they might show multiple shots of the character, but right now, with no casting, no looks at her, and a sense that Alia could be a great surprise on screen, makes me think that she won't be shown in the upcoming trailers or footage. But that was my video discussing the Emperor and Alia being shown in Dune Part 2's marketing. It's going to be interesting to see how Denis Villeneuve adapts both of these characters for the upcoming film, and they are definitely two big figures that I've been looking forward to seeing the most. Casting someone like Christopher Walken is a big move, and it will be even more intriguing to see who plays Alia when we eventually do see the film. Like I said, I think we will get footage of Christopher Walken as the Emperor Emperor in later trailers, but with Alia, I wouldn't be surprised if they kept that for later. Still, the early looks at the film look incredible, and I can only expect that in the months to come, we will see more from crucial scenes like the Water of Life, action shots from that final battle in Arrakis, and more visuals of the new characters. But let me know down below in the comment section whether you think we'll see any footage of the Emperor or Alia in the later marketing, and what do you think the approach will be towards these upcoming character reveals. For much more videos and news on Denis Villeneuve's Dune universe, then subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Also, if you enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like rating and follow me on social media via the links in the description. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I've been Cortex, and as always, make some noise.